Shalom, family. Glory be to God, and blessed be the Lamb forever and ever. Are you ready? Are you ready for what's coming? You may ask yourself, what is coming? War is coming. War is coming to America. America has never faced an enemy from outside of its own borders, within its own land. This one's going to be different. So I stress to the believers, get ready for obvious reasons. It's it's been a preparatory endeavor, if you know what I mean. You're going to war. You're going to feel it on your shores. This is what happens when you have a renegade state, a rogue state that has managed to kowtow or to pay or to threaten anyone who dares say anything, even within the confines of the United States, a nation built on the very notion of free speech itself. What to eat, what's in, what's out, what's the truth, what's a lie, then you have no more sovereignty. Plain and simple. You have no more sovereignty. Oh, okay? And this rogue nation has watched the world do nothing. Do nothing. But what is its motivation? Shall we look at it spiritually? This is the devil's final fight, to make it perpetual war. He's like an angry child. Think of it this way. If I gotta go, then what God loves also must be an aspect of it. Perpetual war against those who only believe. Iraq, Iran, Russia to a lesser degree, but they're learning on a curve. Iran, Afghanistan. First they said that it had nothing to do with Islam. It had everything to do with Islam. Everything. I didn't see anyone else being bombed but Muslims, but they tell the Muslim it's not about your religion. Of course it is. Is anyone else getting bombed at office? She knew her son was dumb. The man wasn't capable of even stringing together 15 words in a line without reading it. This is a fact. This is the same man that had the mental capacity. Again, I don't mean to besmirch Mr. Bush. He's somewhere elder and he's shocked. But he also must admit that I'm telling the truth. He wasn't running for office. They told him to. They didn't have anyone else that was viable. And he wasn't viable except his last name was Bush. Back in those days, they were talking cake. You are still utilizing a 1995 geopolitical approach to the world. When the internet has moved it 50 years, it's going to be the end of you. It's going to be the end of you. But at any rate, the piety of the people who they make violence against. Let's look at Iran. You call them Iran. I call them Persia. They have existed for as long as the Bible, 5,200 years. And in comes a fictitious state made up. They couldn't even stop the Houthis. The Houthis bombed them at will. They tear up their airport at will. They shut them down at will. So now he decides he's going to attack someone that's 5,200 years old. But let's revert, which shows you how long this war has been going on. I keep telling you, it's one of godlessness versus those who are God. No matter how you slice cheese, it's going to still be cheese. This will run through individuals, groups, cities, parliaments, governments, all the way up the chain. This is not going to stop. Claim the victory. They doesn't even achieve the victory. That's not necessary. What is necessary is that they destabilize that country. That's what is important. That is America's new standard of victory, not conquest, not to vanquish. It is to destabilize. Period. That same tactic has been used here against Black Americans since their existence here, especially after slavery. But that was a segue that I'm not. The 8-year-old lie. They've never been who they've said they were. Now, if I go into their history, someone is going to say, uh-oh, he's going to get flagged. And I will be flagged. Guaranteed to be flagged. Even though it is the truth. But anything that must be protected from the truth is weak at its very foundation, at its very core. How could someone who are to control billions of dollars, billions, trillions, connections all over the world with navies and armies and aircraft and men, 22 years later, give or take a year, I think it's 23 years, we arrive again at the nation state of Israel, if you can call it that, at this point, when there's 62% of your population believe in what they're doing in the terms of emaciation, warfare, and starvation, and ethnic cleanses. I don't consider that a country anymore. This is something else. This is something else. This is demented. And not only that, this is the biggest safe haven for pedophiles and rapists in the world. We're not going to, I don't like to sound that way. So to give me 10 seconds to recalibrate. It sounded like rhetoric instead of education. And instead of an attempt to enlighten, it sounded like hubris. That is the game that they engage in. They use a lot of fancy words, speaking really, really fast, and because you don't understand these words and you don't want to embarrass yourself, you still stick around for the lecture. Been there, done that. We're not doing it this morning. So we're going to read. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to reduce the level about me. Let's get back to this mini rogue state, Israel, that calls itself Israel. So after 78 years, they decide that they're gonna have an open attack against the oldest known culture in the world. Recordable, okay? We all know how this ends. They know that Iran is going to rain bombs down on them. They know this. But here's the devil's plan, is to drag everyone else into it. The entire world has watched them for over 2 years do what they do. They can't lie their way out of it. They can't make it anything else. 80% of the world want them gone as a nation state. And it's pretty easy to do it. Just stop trading with them. Don't sell them anything. And they wither on the vine. And they know this. So they will make perpetual war with the hope that the United States step in and somehow attacks Iran, guaranteeing control over other people's resources, like the Middle East and like Africa. Everywhere in Africa, they robbing Africans blind. And they've been doing it since colonization. And they ain't stopped now. They are still hinting that they're willing to reestablish colonialism in someone else's land, as I speak today, as their only way of maintaining their idea and the standards of America. America, man, listen, I'm not going to single out this country. No, Western culture, Western anger. But when you're talking about this kind of stuff, then at any rate, you should understand, forgive me. At the very least, forgive me. So what's going to happen now? Well, the U.S. has a choice. You can choose to engage Iran, which will bring in Russia and China, guaranteed. Guaranteed, because again, it's about geopolitical control. All of them are fighting for others, the other the others to know that I'm gonna have to rely on someone else's resources, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And when they try to rearrange or to claim what is theirs, I will make war against them, because now I can rightfully call this an act of war. Because if you take away our platinum, take away our cobalt, then we can't function. And they buy this about thousands of tons annually because we don't have it here. Because we don't have it here. So did they attack Iran under a idiotic mind? This translates to, once you have the knowledge of how to enrich it, then you can enrich it to 10%, 13%. They operate off their own fear. And they are not even a signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. This is roguishness at its finest. And then they have attacked the capital. The capital, not military sites. The capital. Who does that? I mean, as an initial strike. This is so far out the norm that violence is inevitable. That's like trying to take out the president militarily. Usually this type of stuff is done with spies and other techniques, not with your militaries. That started with this country too. This started with this country. We hunted down Saddam Hussein, hung that man for no reason at all, because that WMDs were not ever found. That was a lie, and they understood that it was a lie before they even got there. And they had killed 1 million Iraqis on a trumped up lie. And here we are once again, the same terminology, preemptive strike. Well, what that really means is that we don't have a reason to actually do anything to you, because you have done nothing against the law or man to anyone else. But yet we want to. So now we have to figure out a reason to do this evil. To do this evil from this country that have painted themselves inside of a box. If the United States is smart, is since they want to strike the tempest, then you let them deal with the tempest. Okay? There's no time for niceties. And the other, 34% or 38%, that can only represent two things. The Arab Israeli and the Christian Israeli. But the Christian that, the one who practices Judaism, I have to be careful here, because my own AI, you know how these robots, they learn as time goes on. Okay, so I have to, even though I have to pay for my AI, I still have to respect it. There's no way out of it now. There's guaranteed not to be any way out of it. It will burn if it makes the wrong decisions right now. Right now. They have about 48 hours to make a decision. Because I can guarantee you within the next 24 hours, Israel is going to be facing fire from the sky. Fire. And there's no way that they can intercept hypersonic missiles. They have a hard time with even ballistic missiles. They are in trouble, and they have gambled and then welcomed back in and then kicked out again. Goodness gracious, maybe you should check you. Maybe you are the problem. Every 809 different countries cannot possibly be wrong. It's impossible. The numbers, even, I took this course called the randomness and statistics. It's a hell of a course. It breaks down random. What you think of random is not even random. It just takes a little bit longer for the. We are here these days. What you do, you will pay for. Your fancy suit and your political office won't save you from us. And there's nowhere to hide from us. We speak your name, and you are done. You are done. This is why we don't speak names unless I mean to cause harm. You are done. You know that nothing happens in within a vacuum. Nothing. Nothing that man does is isolated. Another problem he has. Everything he does affects some in the discussion. And you can tell him I said it. All of them do, except one. I mean, at the top. But at any rate, it's enough of them for me to say all of them and not be wrong. You know, the devil has this attitude, literally, that if we gotta go, then we'll burn everything down. And I'd be like, fool, do you not read the Bible either? Do you remember the four horsemen? They didn't come to the Bible. And this is where I personally draw the line. Okay, you're not going to ever tell me that I should sit still and hear another man of Enos structure run his mouth in the face of the truth. You're not going to tell me that when it comes to the Bible, God and Jesus. Stay out of our lane and we will stay out of your lane. But you come into our lane as if you are not evil, as if you are somehow supported by Bible scripture. You've already blasphemed against the name of Israel. God has went so far as to of it, because that's what's going to be. And you do our work again. Stop making this easy. You know how easy it is now to destroy Israel? Because they've signed their own death warrant. They've made themselves scourges on the world stage. They did that. Well, with a little manipulation, either from the angels or the fallen or the devil. But they got outplayed. This is chess, not checkers. Dude, if Israel was sitting across the table from me or the devil, I would look him in, defending it in the face of the truth, of the archaeological facts, of the historical record, of the biblical record, of the Quranic record. They have spent so long in this lie that they have raised their children to believe it. 3, 4, 5, 6 generations. Really, if you go up past, contemporary times, 1,000 years or more, 3,000 years or more. You're not who you say you are. And to keep claiming this does you a disservice, because now you look like lunatics. You will make more war this time because no one will trade with you. No one will buy any of your goods because you really don't create anything. Has anyone anywhere ever picked up anything in their house and the label says made in Israel? Now that makes you vulnerable. You didn't recognize your own vulnerability in the global trade structure, which is going to in turn lead to more war. Because now you will see that as an act of war. This is what you will do on your way out the door. To the Christians of Israel, to the Christians passing by. Okay, this is the level of hatred that they have for you. But I'm not impressed. You know how they feel about me. I've been banned in Israel. If you so much as speak the name of a Jesus, you can go to jail. And I hear to get 3 to 5 years. But this is the same people who refuses join the world order and in terms of DNA tests. It is against the law for any of them to take a DNA of the test within it. Everything is just business to me. At least that's the way I try to play it. It's just a collection of data and a spitting out an answer. There's not much emotion evolved until now. You keep coming in our lane. You're not going to blaspheme Jesus. You're not going to blaspheme God. And you're not going to use the Bible. Or else there would be a healthy price to be paid. Healthy. The days of mocking God is over. Over. Completely. Look what we did to Brazil. Some of my best work. We called it on a Friday to convert you. He did not come to make you believe or to challenge your beliefs at all. You believe what you believe in the face of reality, whatever reality that is. We're not willing to have the argument with you. You win. We're simply not willing to have that argument with you anymore. Again, in the face of reality, then one has at least a small tinge of mental illness, maybe. Maybe they should go and talk to someone. Because at this stage of the game, it can be nothing else. This is why I'm getting bolder and bolder, because there's nowhere else to go with this. And the cartels, your death dealing has spilled out into the normalcy of the world. And now you got to go. Now you got to go. It really is that simple. And there's nothing you can do. So I'm going to wind this up because I feel myself getting angry, and it starts as a hot spot within my belly. I notice it instantly. That's the beginning of rage. That's the beginning of adrenaline and dopamine flowing at full speed. It's the feeling of war that I should not have, but you will drive one into it. So stay out of the Bible, Mr. Netanyahu. You know who you are, and we're not dealing with propaganda anymore. The world is very intelligent. It's more intelligent by 50% than any living humans have ever been in the last century. You are not going to fool them. They have the internet. They have the World Wide Web. They got all these social media platforms, and yet you make yourself look like a lunatic by keep acting like it's 1995 and that no one knows anything. No, they know as much as you do now. How will you get yourself out of it? Will you kill millions? Because you're going to have to. You are going to have to. And I haven't even got to the creepy ass people who wanted all this going back to the 90s. The American Enterprise Institute. Now, here's where I'm going to start to use names. Specifically one, because once you tell me that I can't say the word Jew, I can't use the word Khazarian, I can't use the word Israeli in the wrong context, I can't connect those words. Too much power and food. Too much food. Because only through the constant access to food and water and a guaranteed access do you develop such arrogance. You have to remove a man from the sanctities of life, and then you will see the real man. At any rate, these people sat around and they made war that this country's going to fall, and we're going to go to war with this country and this country and this country. None of these countries had done anything to them, and I ain't even got to Africa. I ain't even got to Southeast. So why does Haiti look like Haiti? Well, it's about the thought processes. Different people have different thought processes, okay? Now, here's the one used there. The Haitian Revolution, which basically means that they went to war or they rebelled against the slave masters or the owners of the plantations in Haiti. Oh, okay, and they beat them and they ran them off. They show back up within 3 to 4 months, this time with ships, battleships, sailors, and soldiers, and they demand payment. And the poor Haitian is saying, payment for what? Why are you threatening us with war? We've done you no harm. And um the the French decide, I mean, this is Western mindset. Good Lord. They say to the Haitians that you owe us trillions of dollars. And the Haitians like, why? What do we steal from you? Why do we owe you this money? And the French say, because you stole our property. You removed the capitalistic nature from the relationship. So our investors lost money on the plantations and things of that nature. And the poor Haitian is using a normal thought process, is trying to understand what this man is saying. And he broke it down this way. So you're saying that I don't have, as the consciousness and the spirit inside of this body, I shouldn't have sovereignty over this body. You should. You should. And that's how I owe you money. And I said, how long did it take you to get that? A week? You see how funny that they think? That's madness. But imagine an entire culture built on it. And I don't mean to assuage Western culture, because there's other cultures built on it too. But this is where I live. This is where I grew up. See, this is where everything happens, because America is the center of the world, whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or not. And even as it's falling, even as it is falling, it is still the central power in the world, both sociologically, politically, economically, militarily. There's no way out of that. There's no way out of it. It's just not. So because of that, we say, and we speak from the perspective of an American, as a Negro American. This is not to be taken as racist or anything else. It's about perspectives. It's the only one I can offer you. There is no other. These are the eyes, I mean America, on a geopolitical level, the power structures, resources, who controls these resources. This is what it is, and no more than that. No more than that. But by this latest Persian strike, we now understand what not only the Israelis' plan is. I wish I hadn't used that word. Dang it. But we also know what Satan's plans are. This is all Satan. This is all Satan. It owes them whether they believe or not. It simply doesn't matter anymore at this point. It doesn't matter. We are going to watch this play out. It's going to end like it should. And the world will be a much better place afterwards. But in between now and it becoming a better place, there's going to be a lot of death and a lot of suffering and a lot of war, and Mother Nature acting the fool with floods. And, well, we're not going to blame Mother Nature anymore. Mother Nature is under command. Under command. So, though we won't be blaming her, but Mother Nature will be used today, not tomorrow, not next year, not in your lifetime or mine, if you can apply that. So, by now, I expected to start seeing Satanists and atheists and whatever else marching in the streets. But that's not happening. That's not happening. They clearly don't want the fight, which lets you know that they don't really believe, which leads one to the next thought. There's nothing else left. This is a fight for their survival, not loyalty, not honor, not something that they believe in. They have accepted Israel to stop the bombs from falling on them, killing massive numbers of their civilians. And I don't know, Abe, about you. I'm really not a big fan, of death and mayhem, but I'm a big fan of war. War is necessary. There's no way out of war. Not anymore. Not for the last 150 years have there been a way out of any scenario that may lead to war. Not one. We've watched it and we've studied it. No. Once someone is intent on war, then it's like how it sounds. This is all abstract to you, but it's very real. It's very real. It's the difference between playing a video game where you're dropping bombs out of an airplane or first person shooter games. It's real. Not that. When every time a bomb drops, someone dies. Someone who didn't have anything to do with anything. They don't even care about being surgical anymore. They've accepted terms like collateral damage, which basically means, oops, innocent people got killed. Here's a couple of thousand. Right. If you cannot stop me, then I'm going to harm you. That is your strategy. This is your ideology. This is how you've lived. So the same strategy and ideology is now being employed against you. Might makes right. Your job now is, can you stop us? Can you stop us? We are not playing with you at all. Good luck to you, because we don't hate you that way. You made this situation of either or. Never make any situation a zero-sum game. You made the sad mistake of making it a zero-sum game. Now someone must lose and someone must win. This is why we don't like to play games with humans. They seem not to see this type of thing. You have created a zero-sum game. Good luck to you. The governments of the world. Good luck. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I am Source. I am 7. I am 1. The rest of you